If you're looking for a story about some lost episode, haunted game, Slenderman, etc., stop right here. This story is just about how I changed from looking at the world from one perspective to another. So let me get this out. Some people think I'm somewhat depressed because of the way I am, the way I think, just the person I am in particular. Think of me as depressed or not, it doesn't make a difference to me. This world was never worthy from the start. Why do I say that, you ask? Well, because it's true to the core. I had moved into a new house a few days before school started. So my change all started in 6th grade. The me before was different in so many different ways. Well, by now whoever's reading this is probably saying I was going through puberty. The me before didn't see the world as I see it now. Back then I never put much mind into it. But after opening my ignorant mind, I changed. I listened to metal, heavy metal, whatever genre of metal you can name. That is what helped me change to who I am today. Now, I listened to metal back when I was a kid but never really paid attention to what they were saying. But after a while, I actually started to pay attention to the message they were trying to throw out there. The first thing that changed of me was my hair. Yeah, no, what does hair have to do with anything about this? Well, I would always have my hair short and let it grow out to some specific point before cutting it all. During 6th grade, people started noticing my hair grew longer each day by just a little bit. My friend would always come up to me when we had class together, or when we were switching classes. He would always say, "Dude, are you going to grow your hair longer?" I would start to chuckle and say, "You want me to, I'll do it." Before I knew it, my hair had grown to cover my face. After that dramatic change, I kept that as a symbol of who I am. Different. You have to understand that this was the first time I had ever done something like this. After that, I wanted to be different. Different from the crowd. I wanted to stand out as the weird one. I never saw myself as cool. I mean, I had friends and all. I was not a loser either, to put it bluntly. I was just pretty much there. After 6th grade, my mum made me cut all my hair. I wasn't mad or anything, I just thought of it as a fresh start, to say at least. I never put much mind about the world then, but I thought about stuff that I cannot remember. I had to move again, sadly. I didn't switch schools even though I lived further than where I lived before. I never had any problems switching schools, but I guess my mum didn't want to go to the trouble of transferring me. So instead, I went to the same school from before. My mum just dropped me off. I always laugh at this memory though. Me and my friends called this year the Black Year. As to why, you may ask? Well, the friends that I hung out with then and still do now would have these arguments and then not talk for weeks or something. Or they would not even talk to each other for weeks without knowing why they were mad at each other in the first place. I stayed out of it most of the time since. Well, you ever try to stop something and it backfired on you? Well, I didn't want that to happen. So 7th grade finished, and I wanted to regrow my hair to what it was back then. All through 7th grade I let my hair grow, and during the summer I let it grow even more so that it was pretty much covering my face. During the summer after 7th grade, after I had grown my hair, I didn't let it drop down to my face. I pulled it back so it was not covering my face. During that time, I spent most of my time thinking about the world more than I did in 6th grade. Stuff like, why am I alive? I started to get into more darker things like, why God even gave the human race a chance to live and thrive, if you can call it thriving. I mean, if Christians say He's the higher power, or whatever, He could have prevented the shit we had and have to go through when we're alive. 8th grade came and I let my hair go over my face again. Well, during 8th grade, I wrote something subconsciously during my language arts class. I didn't know where this came from and don't know if I've ever seen it before, but I'll lay it on for you. This is how it went. Everyone knows time is death, that death hides in clocks. Imposing Mother Time, powered by the clock of the imagination, however can refuse his law. Here freed from the grim reaper's scythe, we learn that pain is knowledge, and all knowledge is pain. When I found the notebook I'd written it in, I reread it again and saw that it made absolute sense. I showed a friend and said what I wrote was true. I showed my sister and my cousin and they agreed. I showed my mum, and that's when everything pretty much changed. Before I showed her, she always told me that she was going to take me to some psychiatrist because I was thinking about dark things, stuff that isn't normal. I always laughed at her when she said that and always responded, I was given life for a reason and one reason only, to live it how I want. My mum put me up so that I could talk to some psychiatrist. It never worked. Well, I saw it didn't work. I spend my time thinking about stuff that people found dark, but were true to the core. After I had changed my perspective, I just stopped believing in what this world says and is. I started to hate things that were supposed to seem happy but aren't. Like clowns. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against clowns. Well, I find them a bit creepy, but anyways, my point with the clown thing is, clowns are supposed to be happy. But in reality, a clown's life is sad. My mum still thinks I need a bit of help on my depression, but doesn't put much mind to it. I don't categorise myself like other people. I could care less if I'm the cool kid, the loser, the one people are afraid of. No, I don't do any of that. I just place myself as just there and leave it at that. People say the world will end soon. But what they don't know is that the world ended a long time ago. Were we ever worthy to be given this life? I ask myself every day. The answer is always the same. No. How I see it, God just placed us in some giant game. He wants to see what each and every one of us becomes throughout our lives. Many people spend their lives searching for the truth but never find it, or don't believe it because it's not what they want it to be. Religion is an immaculate misconception. I'm sorry if this offends some people for what they follow or what they believe in, but it's true. People join that stuff so that they can give shit to others for who and what they are. It wouldn't be the first time I've had my music be called the devil's music because of the screaming. If they just open their minds before their goddamn narrow-minded mouth, they would understand that the screaming is just regular singing, just that it has more force and power behind it. I don't follow any religion there is. Not that I hate religion, I could care less if people want to follow what they believe in, as long as they don't try to change my mind and perspective on how I see things. Just because I don't follow religion doesn't mean I don't believe in God and the devil. I did back then a bit, but then I changed. I just stopped. Because if there is a God out there, why hasn't he taken us out the shit we go through on this forsaken planet? If there is a devil, why hasn't he just taken all our lives yet in just one swipe? Again, I'm sorry if this offends you. Even if I think this world is unworthy, I can't seem to get myself to call it unfaithful. I just want to see a world, even if it's only for a few seconds, in peace. I have always dreamed of a world with no war, no starvation, no global disasters and stuff. How our planet would be like if it was still Pangea. I wouldn't be surprised if this whole thing was a long dream, and then one day you just wake up to pure bliss. I'm not even scared of death nowadays. Don't get me wrong, when I was a kid I was terrified of dying for some reason. But then I opened my mind. How could I be afraid of something that is impossible to experience? You can't experience death no matter what. When you close your eyes and you take your last breath, that's it. You don't feel it. You can't escape death either. It's impossible. Death takes your life, and there's no stopping it. The so-called miracle of someone surviving death is just death waiting for another moment to take their life. Sorry if this offends you or brings back some bad memories. I'm in Pandora's box. You don't know what I might throw at you. Did someone ever tell you, think outside the box? Well, the dreaded box I was in, I broke out and obliterated it. Nowadays, I keep an open mind about things. I don't limit my mind of its capabilities. I follow what my mind sets its sights on. Have we ever existed? Is this just all one big dream for each and every one of us? The stuff we see and know today are just possibilities of an impossible existence. If there is a God out there, I shall wait for his return. I didn't write this so you guys can follow what I do, believe what you want to believe in, follow what you want to follow. Who am I to judge you? I just wrote this so you can understand where I'm coming from and to think about some things that are out there in this world. Live life how you want to. Is your life to destroy? Stay true.